You've been asking why it feels so hard to move forward, why every time you take a step, something unseen pushes back, why doors close when you've done everything right. You thought it was punishment. You thought it was delay. You thought it was because you weren't enough. But listen to me now. Those walls were never meant to stop you. They were meant to reveal what you're made of. You see obstacles. I see protection. You see resistance. I see preparation. There are walls in front of you that you did not build. Walls made of fear planted by others. Walls formed by generational pain. Walls reinforced by voices that told you to stay small, stay quiet, stay obedient to limitation. And today, I am tearing them down. You've been fighting silently, smiling on the outside while your spirit bleeds in private. People think you're strong, and you are, but they don't see the nights you questioned everything. You asked me, God, why am I still here? Why hasn't it changed? Because if I removed the walls too early, you would walk through unprepared for what's waiting on the other side. There are rooms you are about to enter that require a version of you that didn't exist yet. Understand this. Not every delay is denial. Some delays are armor being forged. I allowed the pressure because pressure reveals cracks, not creates them. I allowed the silence because noise would have distracted you from your calling. I allowed the isolation because crowds dilute purpose. You thought you were being abandoned. You weren't. You were being separated. Look back. Every wall that stood in your way forced you to grow muscles you didn't know you had. The rejection sharpened your discernment. The loneliness deepened your wisdom. The betrayal taught you boundaries. The waiting strengthened your faith. If I had answered your prayers immediately, you would have settled for less than what I planned. You keep blaming yourself for not moving faster. But my child, you were never behind. You were being aligned. There are people who try to block you intentionally. They smiled while placing stones in your path. They doubted you loudly and prayed quietly against you. But hear me clearly now. No human can build a wall I cannot destroy. What they meant to slow you down became the very resistance that built your strength. What they whispered in secret, I heard in full. And I am responding. Right now, you are standing at the edge of a breakthrough you cannot yet see. Your frustration is not random. Your restlessness is not weakness. Your discomfort is the sound of a ceiling cracking. You are growing too large for the space you're in. You've outgrown old habits, old relationships, old versions of yourself that once kept you safe but now keep you stuck. And yes, it hurts. Growth always hurts when you stop shrinking. I am dismantling the walls one by one. Some will fall quietly. Others will collapse violently. Do not panic when structures you relied on begin to shake. That shaking is not destruction, it's release. You asked me to change your life. I'm starting by changing what blocks it. You asked for clarity. I'm removing confusion disguised discomfort. You asked for purpose. I'm removing distractions disguised as blessings. Stay still long enough to see it. The wall that once mocked you will soon become the doorway you walk through. The same place you cried will become the place you testify from. And when it happens, when the resistance disappears, when the path opens suddenly, when momentum replaces struggle, do not forget who held you together when everything felt impossible. This is only the beginning. The walls are coming down, not because you forced them, not because you fought harder, but because the time is right, and I never arrive late. My child, you noticed something, didn't you? The closer you got, the harder it became. Just when you thought the wall would fall, it seemed to grow taller, thicker, heavier, and you wondered, God, why now? Listen carefully. Resistance always increases right before release. The enemy does not waste energy on people who are going nowhere. Opposition does not rise against empty futures. Walls do not form in front of lives without destiny. The pressure you feel is proof that you are close. You are not imagining it. The weight became heavier. The attacks became more personal. The delays more frustrating. The doubt louder. That is not coincidence. That is confirmation. Let me tell you a truth most never hear. The greater the calling, the thicker the wall. Ordinary lives pass through open doors. Extraordinary lives are tested at locked gates. Why? Because what you carry cannot be handed to the unprepared. You are not just moving toward a blessing. You are moving toward responsibility. And responsibility requires refinement. There are people who receive success and collapse under it. People who gain influence and lose their soul. People who step into abundance without wisdom and destroy themselves. I refuse to let that be you. So I slowed you down. I pressed you. I allowed the walls to rise. Not to stop you, but to shape you. You kept asking me to remove the wall, but first, I needed to remove what in you would not survive on the other side. Pride had to go. Desperation had to burn away. Approval-seeking had to die. Fear of being misunderstood had to loosen its grip, because where you are going, you will be misunderstood anyway. Do you know why chosen ones feel lonely even in crowds? Because they are being prepared for rooms where only their character will keep them standing. The wall exposed you. It showed you who stayed. It revealed who vanished when progress slowed. It revealed who loved the blessing, not the person, and that knowledge will protect you later. You wondered why certain people couldn't follow you through this season. They weren't meant to. Some relationships are seasonal shelters, not permanent foundations, and I will not allow anyone to walk into your next chapter who would sabotage it from within. Yes, it hurt, but it saved you. Let me speak clearly now. The wall was not the enemy. The wall was the filter. Only patience survived it. Only discipline remained standing. Only faith without applause endured. That's why you're still here. You didn't quit when it made no sense to continue. You didn't harden your heart when life tested you. You didn't become bitter, even when bitterness was justified. You became quietly powerful. That is rare, and rarity attracts resistance. Right now, unseen forces are adjusting around you. Conversations are happening without your name being spoken aloud. Doors are being unlocked you didn't knock on. Hearts are being softened you thought were permanently closed. You cannot see it yet, but momentum has already shifted. This is why the walls began to crack recently. You felt it. Small changes, unexpected openings, sudden clarity, a strange calm after long chaos. That calm is not weakness. It is authority settling in. You are no longer begging me. You are aligning with me. And alignment changes everything. Let me warn you gently, when the wall falls, things will move fast. What took years to block can take moments to clear, and speed can overwhelm those who aren't grounded. Stay humble, stay disciplined, stay listening, because the next phase is not about survival. It is about stewardship. I am not just removing obstacles, I am repositioning you. The struggle taught you how to stand alone. Now I will teach you how to lead without losing yourself. And remember this forever. If the wall resisted you, it's because your future threatens something old. You were never meant to fit inside broken systems. You were meant to outgrow them. Hold steady. The collapse has already begun. My child, there is a moment you are approaching that will feel unreal. One day you will wake up and the resistance that defined your life will be gone. No warning, no announcement, just space. And that silence will confuse you. Because when you've lived behind walls for so long, freedom feels unfamiliar. You're used to fighting, used to bracing yourself, used to assuming something will go wrong. So when nothing blocks you anymore, your mind will search for danger. But listen to me carefully now. The absence of struggle is not a trap. It is permission. When the wall falls, you will feel exposed, not weak, exposed. Because struggle gave you identity, pain gave you routine, survival gave you structure, and now you must learn a new way to exist. This is why some people sabotage blessings. Not because they don't want them, but because they don't recognize themselves without suffering. You told yourself, I'll rest when it's over. I'll be happy when it's done. I'll breathe when the pressure lifts. And now the pressure is lifting. So breathe. Let me tell you what happens next. Opportunities will arrive without force. People will respond without resistance. Things that once drained you will suddenly feel light. And you'll ask yourself, why now? Because the wall was holding back more than pain. It was holding back flow. You were being trained under friction. Now you will move under favor. And favor requires wisdom. When doors open, do not rush through everyone. Not every opening is assignment. Not every invitation is alignment. You don't need to prove anything anymore. The wall already proved you. Some people will suddenly return. They'll say they always believed. They'll say they always knew. Remember how they treated you when the wall was still standing. Access does not equal trust. Others will be intimidated by your peace. They were comfortable with you struggling. They don't know how to relate to you. Healed. Do not shrink to make them comfortable. You didn't survive all that to apologize for your growth. Let me speak to your spirit now. You are not here to rebuild the wall. Not emotionally, not mentally, not spiritually. Stop replaying old pain. Stop rehearsing old fears. Stop preparing for battles that are already over. Yes, stay alert, but do not stay guarded. There is a difference. The next phase of your life will not require hardness. It will require clarity. You will notice this shift. You respond instead of react. You choose instead of react. You choose instead of chase. You observe instead of assume. That is maturity. You will also feel grief. Yes, grief, because you are saying goodbye to the version of you who survived hell. Honor that version, but do not live there. You were never meant to stay in survival mode. Survival was the classroom. Peace is the assignment. I am giving you something new now. Stability without stagnation. Movement without chaos. Strength without tension. This is what answered prayers feel like when they finally arrive. You may still hear echoes of the wall, old thoughts, old doubts, old reflexes. That does not mean it's rebuilding. It means your mind is catching up to your new reality. Be patient with yourself. You didn't heal overnight, you were shaped over time. And hear this clearly. What opens next will require you to receive, not chase. Let things come to you. Let recognition find you. Let recognition find you. Let peace stay with you. Let joy feel safe again. You do not need to announce your breakthrough. Those who need to see it will feel it. This is the season where quiet confidence replaces loud effort, where you stop explaining and start embodying.